So Onin won Super Smash Con 2022, and congratulations to him, but now with this new win, people are really clamoring for Steve to be banned. Now, I'm not really part of the competitive scene and I'm in no shape or form a professional at this game, but I do have an opinion that I obviously want to share. First off, let's state the facts. Steve is undeniably a great character. I may not like playing against or watching Steve, but it can't be explained enough of how great of a character that Steve really is. At early percents, you see Steve up tilt and up air away for combos that could end at 70% or so. Minecart is fantastic for mobility and killing at mid to high percents. Down air being similarly powerful, back aerial being one of the most powerful back airs in the game when using diamond pick, and even with iron it's super strong too. Forward smash is also incredibly strong too, with diamond being potentially one of the strongest F smashes in the game because of its obnoxiously high knockback scaling. And of course you can't talk about Steve without mentioning placing blocks and mining. He also has a fantastic advantage state with TNT and utilizing blocks to make recovering against Steve even harder. He doesn't have that many flaws either. His mobility, both on the ground and in the air outside of minecart, is pretty meh. He has the lowest jump in the game, the worst initial dash. He doesn't have that many good get off of me tools that he can use out of shield, and he also doesn't have a projectile that he can use to keep opponents away from him, and he has to rush into the opponent and risk getting juggled after getting the tools that he wants to use. All in all, I believe that Steve is a fantastic and excellent character that, despite the strange combination of his moveset, mobility, and most importantly I believe his advantage state, he's absolutely, undeniably a top tier, with some saying that he may actually be top 5, top 3, or the best character in the game, top 1. Now, let's go into detail on what this ban controversy is. Lots of players believe that Steve is far too broken in the current metagame that we're in right now. The main argument is that there is so little counterplay to Steve's ledge trapping with blocks or TNT, and it's almost impossible to essentially counter this. Many people also believe that Steve players such as Yoni and Akola, or Akola, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I apologize, but many people say that them making a sudden rise to upset top players such as DeBuzz, MKLeo, Meister, and Light are just carried by how broken the character and the kit is. And also, in my opinion, Steve is very infamous for getting players such as Onin, Akola, Jake, DD, and Yoni, who were previously unranked, to suddenly become top professional staples of this current competitive metagame. That players such as even MKLeo, Meister, and Light, etc., they have to keep their eyes peeled for. Leo actually lost to Onin 3-0, which is crazy. You don't see that every day. Leo getting 3-0'd. That is insane. Additionally, some tournaments have banned Steve, with Croco Cup 1, which is, I believe, a tournament in France, being the most prominent. There are some complaints saying that like this is a little too far, but the ban stood and Steve was not allowed to be used. Something that I would also like to point out is that DLC overall has been a major reason on why these past Smash games have been like pretty disliked as of lately. I don't know too much about Smash 4's metagame, and please Smash 4 experts help me with this next question. Did you guys have a comfortable, versatile metagame before DLC was introduced? Because all I know is that at the end of the Smash 4 metagame, it showed that Bayonetta was the undisputed best character in the game, and as such, dominated tournaments. And even now, just look at Super Smash Con 2022 for example. I've also started to notice a trend that DLC in this game is starting to form a similar path to Smash 4, where we have a comfortable meta with just a versatile set of characters being used, and then all of a sudden DLC rushes in, and then suddenly we have top tiers, high tiers out of the wazoo being used everywhere. Joker, Kazuya, Pythra, Byleth, and Min Min, and specifically the main topic of this video, Steve, being the biggest contenders. And as such, a lot of players just want Steve banned overall. Now, I'm going to go into my opinion on why Steve should in fact not be banned. First of all, just because there's a sudden rise in a specific character being used, it doesn't mean that there is no counterplay. Let's use MK Leo for example. He first used Byleth in Frostbite 2020, beating Meister in the very last game, to which after that, Leo started to dominate offline with Byleth after the online metagame had mostly concluded. But counterplay for Byleth didn't start becoming apparent until Glitch 8.5. Turns out, Pikachu, one of the best characters in the game, is also one of the best characters to beat Byleth with, and ESAM took advantage of this and forced Leo to play Joker so the latter could have a better matchup against Pikachu, and then Leo ultimately lost. Then Smash Ultimate Summit 4 happened, where Spargo's Cloud overcame Leo's Byleth, and then ended up taking the entire tournament. Additionally, Leo has a notably bad matchup against Proto Bantam's Min Min, a player and character that he views as his main bracket demons. Leo is obviously still a fantastic player, but it goes to show there is still counterplay that can simply come out of nowhere, and some counterplay that we have simply just not seen yet for Steve. So I believe that the meta needs to develop in order to counter Steve. I think it is far too early to say that Steve should be banned. I'm also going to put something else into perspective. Let's go to the Pokemon competitive scene real quick, specifically in VGC 14. And if you don't really care about this part, just skip to the time that's on screen right about now. But basically, let's take a look at Mega Kangaskhan, a Pokemon that dominated the early doubles metagame by storm. It was considered to be almost required to be on any VGC 14 team at the time. However, by the time that the last big tournament in Worlds came along, Mega Kangaskhan actually started to fall off because the players actually intended to counter Mega Kangaskhan rather than use it. And as such, players prepared for it with other Mega Pokemon such as Charizard, Mawile, and Lucario, as well as other great Pokemon overall in Ferrothorn, Rotom Wash, and Scrafty. So these players actually managed to make their success to counter Mega Kangaskhan known, and as such, only one Mega Kangaskhan actually made it to top 16, with not a single Kangaskhan in sight in top 8 of Worlds. Back to Smash Bros. One other notable fact that I want to point out, and I also feel like this is just common sense. If Steve was banned, then that would make the argument that he is the best character in the game. However, I don't believe this to be true. I'm sure that many players, including myself, believe that Pythra, Joker, and Pikachu, who are ceremoniously agreed to be top 3 best characters in the game, are like way better than Steve. Albeit way better, not by a big margin. But now the question remains, if Steve is banned, why aren't the best characters in the game banned? Also, considering Leo used Byleth for a while before shifting his focus back to other characters like Aegis and Corrin, wouldn't it mean that Byleth should be banned as well? That one's a little bit of a stretch. I was still trying to wrap my mind around that one. It's a thought that on paper sounded good, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's like not the best example. But you get what I'm saying. Overall, I don't think that Steve should be banned, despite the pure and utter outcry of people begging for this character to be banned. I may not like the character as much as you do, but I don't believe that a character should be banned this early into the metagame. Especially since that this metagame is actually quite young. So we need to wait for proper counterplay to arise to the table to eat little by little before devouring the full course meal that is Steve. I've seen actually a clip of Didi absolutely demolishing Jake Steve using just Ivysaur. He's saying that Ivysaur is a very hard counter to Steve's game plan because of how forward air from Ivysaur can actually break Steve's blocks very easily. And then you can also use Charizard's F-tilt to also do something similar. And overall, again, we need counterplay. And this is one of the few examples of counterplay that I believe that we can actually use. And this might actually prompt some players to actually start using more Pokemon Trainer. Such as Tweak, for example. God, I miss that character on Tweak so much. And not to mention, DD is a Steve player, so he is very, very, very credible in this information. And he showed that against Jake. Again, that's pretty much the end of the video. Bottom line, I don't think Steve should be banned because it's too early to tell. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys like this video and you like this style of video, then be sure to hit that like button down below for me, give me a thumbs up. I don't really care, but if you do, subscribe because it really helps on my channel. I don't know what else to really say other than get better at the game. Yeah.